Basically, I had a nice childhood. As far as a child can tell anyway, I guess. I grew up sheltered with loving and caring parents, went to school like the others, used to play with the other kids, and went to church just like all the others. Just like a normal child in a normal small American community. But soon everything took a change. I was changing, was feeling different. Something was pulling me away, towards strange abandoned places. And then, one evening, that strange book got to my hands. The language was strange and the symbols in it seemed oddly familiar. Keeping it secret, I often returned to the place to read in it. That's when mysterious things started happening everywhere around me. Something was happening. And I started understanding. Sure enough, it didn't go unnoticed and they confronted me. I didn't feel like I had done wrong. Mom felt guilty for not praying enough. And Dad didn't know any better than locking me up in the basement and think about a solution. He went to see Pastor Gerald, and he convinced Dad that demons were possessing me. But he'd know where to get help. And so they were sending me to Ashdale. Ashdale was a private school where kids with magic abilities were supposed to learn disciplined handling of magic. And discipline was everyday's business there. Spell theory and formula class with Mr. Thornton, material studies, practical casting, the regular curriculum. But that's not how my magic was working. No logic at all, no formulas. Pure emotion. It erupted whenever I felt it had to. And consequences always followed. Punishment for failure. Punishment for uncontrolled casting. They were trying with pain. They were trying with drill to drub logic into me and suppress my emotions. And even the other students would rather be rewarded for giving me a rough treatment. If I wouldn't function as they were expecting me to, I wasn't supposed to belong. And as I tried fighting back once, they locked me up in the basement again, and again, and again. And so 2 very, very long years passed in that cursed hell that was supposed to drive the devil out of me. And little by little I started giving up. At first I still felt some sadness, grief, and despair. I was probably isolating myself more than Ashdale would. And when finally there was no magic left to feel inside myself, I simply felt nothing anymore. When I got back home, everything changed. I was completely withdrawn. My parents weren't able to understand or handle me anymore. I'd rather roam around on the streets than being locked up in school or at home, strolling around in the city and through cafes. On evenings I went to the clubs, trying to dance and drink the pain away, and crashing down drunk in the park became my latest hobby. Until I met her. Meeting Carol was a turning point in my life. We got along instantly. We'd roam the clubs together and she'd be leading me through her nights in the vibrant city. We met and talked frequently and I started trusting her. So I decided to tell her my story. For the first in long time, I began to feel something again. Life returning to my soul, my connection to being. And one day, we deeply fell for each other. And finally she revealed to me being a witch. We became inseparable and shared a deep and heartfelt love for each other. And she introduced me to her witches' circle, some slightly awkward but nice gals. Step by step they managed to awaken my connection to magic, as if I'd been stuck in a long last sleep. But then, the day came when my heart burst into shreds. Carol had decided to attend law school in New York, and so a part of my soul went with her. As I was on my way to drown my sorrow in booze, I witnessed a gang robbing a store. On their way out, I spotted an Ashdale jacket in a sports bag. Curiosity kicked in, and so I broke into Ashdale the next night, looking around for a while and stealing some documents from the office. Reading through them, I found suspicious bank activity, which also hinted at Pastor Gerald. So I contacted Jerry, a hacker who had tried hitting on me once. Childish guy, but pretty okay. We discovered the connections to a plot around a group of religious racists who'd use crime money to raise their influence. But before Jerry could dig deeper, I was assaulted by some thugs. Luckily, I had my magic back. I jumped onto the first train that came along, which, oh coincidence, oh fate, happened to be heading to Vegas. Not knowing what to do next, I did what I was best at. But somehow I had to make ends meet, so I tried with a little Take from the rich and give to the poor. To myself. For a while, stealing went pretty well, until I tried stealing from the wrong person. Instead of turning me in, though, he offered me a job in his escort service. I was supposed to accompany businessmen to dinners and parties. Sure, some got pushy at times. Others paid a lot of extra cash for overtime. A dirty job, but good money and many, many very valuable contacts. While contemplating the future over breakfast in the park, I saw a desperate, crying woman. When I asked her what was wrong, she sobbed that her son was missing and the police would take forever. I wanted to help, so I started searching. Using magic, I spoke with a cat who, in exchange for a fish sandwich, gave me a brief description of a flea circus before falling back asleep. After a while of intense searching across the park and with the help of a cheeky crow, which got the rest of my dry cereal, I finally found the woman's boy playing with the dog he had been chasing. The woman was overjoyed and thanked me profusely. It turned out she was quite wealthy, too. And so, my decision was made. A city like Las Vegas never slept, and there were always plenty of people in need of help. I could surely use my good talents like magic, and a knack for snooping around in a meaningful way and give my life some direction. Yes, I would become the damn best private eye in the city. In the beginning, it was very tough. First came the trailer park, then an upgrade to a cheap motel. But after some time, when I finally had enough clients for a shabby office, I was able to register my PI office. And that brought an old acquaintance back into the picture. Carol sought me out. She was in need of a sleuth. She had ended up at the district attorney's office and was in need of someone for delicate investigative work that she couldn't legally handle herself. We tried it together once again, but after a brief affair, we came to realize that we had changed too much. And once again, my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. And slowly, I gained a foothold. Carol would sometimes drop by with a new case. Then I'd head out into the night, getting photos of secret meetings among crooks, obtaining documents that incriminated criminals, and so on. But mostly it was the standard stuff. Men cheating on their wives, women betraying their husbands, missing persons, whatever Vegas had to offer. Now and then, we still met privately in the park or at a cafe, and I pretended we were just friends. And when Carol was leaving again, I threw myself deep into work, or drowned myself in my good old friend. I'm Jenson, private investigator. This is Las Vegas.